This is a demonstration of exercise 545, analyzing and reporting receivable transactions and uncollectible accounts using the percentage of sales method to estimate bad debts expense. At the beginning of the year, Penman Corporation had the following account balances, and the problem tells us the amount of accounts receivable and the allowance for uncollectible accounts at the beginning of the year. It also states that Penman had credit sales of $2,008,000 and collections on accounts receivable of $1,963,000. They also wrote off some accounts receivable during the year, and at December 31st they record their bad debts expense using the percentage of sales method. And remember, when we use the percentage of sales method, we do not take into account the balance in the allowance account. So the problem asks us to compute the ending balances in accounts receivable and the allowance for uncollectible accounts, and then show how Penman's December 31st balance sheet would report the two accounts. So I have set up T accounts for accounts receivable and the allowance for uncollectible accounts so we can calculate what the ending balances would be. I have the beginning balances that the problem gave us already in the accounts, and now we'll record the effects of the write-off. So we wrote off $8,200 on February 17th. When we do that, we credit accounts receivable and we debit our allowance account. We wrote off Reed's account on May 28th for $4,800, and we wrote off Fisher's account on December 15th, $2,300. We also need to record in our accounts receivable our credit sales for the year, which were $2,008,000. And we also need to record our collections for the year, $1,963,000. The last thing we need to do is calculate what the bad debts expense would be. So the problem stated that they estimate their bad debt expense at 0.9% of their credit sales. So we had $2,008,000 credit sales. We multiply that by 0.9% and we get our bad debts expense of $18,072. That would be a credit to our allowance for uncollectible accounts. I have the spreadsheet calculating the balance in the account, so our accounts receivable at the end of the year would be $385,700 and our allowance would be $24,172. The accounts would be shown on the balance sheet by showing first the gross amount of accounts receivable, then the allowance for uncollectible accounts, and then the net amount for accounts receivable. And that is the conclusion of the demonstration for exercise 545.